I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it. I knew this. I knew this thing. I knew the thing was gonna play me. I knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew how this was gonna act. So that's why I had to make sure it's a backup. But I hate to use this phone because god damn it, this thing just had to die on me. Hold on a second. I got you. I got you. All right, hold on. Hold on. Oh, goodness. I knew this was gonna happen. Yeah, my other phone died. All right. Yep. I and excuse my camera. Like this damn thing cracked. Okay. Waiting for this. Waiting for the invite. I got the invite. Now I'm just waiting for the answer. Oh man. Yeah, I like it tells me I'm on like okay, let's try this. What you talking about? The daggone thing says that I'm on 10%. My other phone say I'm on 10%, but then once I charge it, battery overheating, take off the charger.
There
That's
we
crazy.
go.
There we go.
Yeah. Hold up. I'll put that. Boom.
All right, there we are. All right, but yeah, all right. So I didn't forget like yeah, we talked about we
Yeah.
getting on wood instruments, woodwinds, and 12 years old at the Carnegie Hall. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I've all right. I'm like we're not gonna do comparisons because I think about stuff like that and the Carnegie Hall that is just that's legendary. That's
Yeah.
legendary.
Yeah.
Um um okay, instrumentation, a woodwind instrumentalist. That's dope.
Yeah. Also
The only
percussionist.
woodwind instrument I've had was the recorder. You remember you know
Yeah,
what the
I
recorder
remember
is.
the recorders. Yeah, that's a starter pack right there. And they give
That is a
everybody
super
that.
starter pack for amateurs. But but I'm a drummer at heart, so I ended up playing the drums, whether it's set or I got a scholarship off of college to go to there. Unfortunately, I
Hey.
took the Kanye route, but yeah,
Hey.
but
Still a nice route.
like but when I was in high school though, my mom wanted me to try a whole bunch of things. So I was in band,
Mm.
but she also like but the band director was also married to a choir director, and it's the funny part. The band director was a short, chubby Filipino dude. The the choir director was a black beautiful woman.
Ooh.
I'm like, how did they get married?
Ooh. If he got the Riz, the son, what they call it? Like he got
I
that.
have no clue.
Okay.
But when my mom found out, but when my mom found out about the choir, she's like, oh, my son can sing too. I'm like, Mom, don't tell her that. but so she put me in the concert choir, and I was in the concert band as well as the marching band.
Nice.
Heavy Metal Space Wizard, what's going on, man? It's another one of the Threads family.
What's up?
So I got a part of the concert band and the concert choir around this time. I think it's 2005 or 2004. This is not too long after Ray Charles passed away.
Mm.
So
Sleep in
my
peace.
school was chosen. My school and our concert bands and choir was chosen because we our band was small, but our choir was amazing.
Mm.
We had like our red ribbons, blue ribbons, whether it's individual or as a group. I even got a red ribbon once in a while, so that's second division, I believe.
Nice.
But our choir, our band and our choir was called in as one of the top schools in Detroit to do like this. I don't know, what was it called? Evening with the Stars or something. It was like a high school tribute for all the best concert bands.
Nice.
And we all got together. All of the choirs got together.
Mm.
All of the best choirs got together. So that included ours. We all got together to do this big Ray Charles medley because the movie came out,
Yeah.
and like I said, he just passed away, and it was just like it was a great a display. But yeah, just the Fox Theater. It was in the Fox Theater in Detroit,
Oh,
and
nice.
that's a big
Mm.
stage for a few
Mm.
people. So just imagine sitting like same thing. You got your parents,
Yeah.
but it's still a whole bunch of like tens of thousands, like 10,000, 5,000 people you looking at,
Yeah.
and you on this riser. You're like, oh God, God. But it's like, but this is my junior or senior year, so it ain't no big pressure. But still,
That's
that's something
major.
to deal with in your mid years. But the Carnegie
Yeah.
though, the
Yeah.
Carnegie, jeez, the old Carnegie Hall.
The
That's
old
fire.
Carnegie Hall. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even know about it until like 2 weeks before. I'm like, what is Carnegie Hall? And
Yeah,
then, my mom had to give me the breakdown. And then they started talking more about it during rehearsals. And I'm like, oh, so this is a big deal. I didn't even realize. I'm sitting here just like thinking, okay, yeah, I'm just playing music, da da da. But no, it's
right.
it's huge. It's like it's huge for someone at that age
Yeah,
to really be a
yeah,
part of something like that.
definitely.
But I am grateful for that opportunity. It was amazing. And I really did embrace that moment, and I'm glad I did. And then right after that, high school, I switched over to percussion. I was also a drummer girl.
Okay.
And you know what's funny though? I wasn't expecting it, but they ended up signing me up for marching band.
Oh,
I didn't sign up for marching band. I got the call 2 weeks before school started talking about, hey, guess what? You got marching band rehearsal this day, and this day. I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? I didn't audition for that. What are you like? I auditioned for the concert band, but not for the marching band. My mom's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be a marching band!" I'm like, "Why are you hype? This is not like I didn't sign up for this shit. They want me out there fucking roll stepping. I'm not like, yeah. At the time, I wasn't with it, but I think my favorite band out of all the bands that I was part of,
no bite,
it was
no bite.
marching band. It was marching band for real.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
nothing beats that. Nothing beats
it
like
doesn't. It doesn't.
symphonic band is cool. Concert bands are cool, right? Like I was in concert band for
No bite.
my freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
and then they said, "Oh yeah, we like what you're doing, right? We're gonna put you in symphonic band." So I ended up going in the highest level band my sophomore year as a drummer. And mind you, I've only been drumming for a year before that. And I was like,
What was your
oh,
instrument? What was your instrument in the band?
so percussion overall. So it was snare drum, bass drum, timpani, cymbals, wind chimes. I
Marching
did the
band.
marimba,
Marching band specifically. Marching band
marching band.
specifically. What was your primary?
Got you. My primary for 2 years was bass drum. Then for the next 2 years was snare drum. They ended up making me the section leader my junior year of high school. And I
No.
had so
Hold
many
on.
people mad at me. These boys was like, I don't want to listen to a girl. I was like, you know what? Let me show y'all what this girl does.
Hey, oh my goodness. What? All right. You sound like me though. Me, I'm telling you. I swear to God. All right.
Aries be
All right.
like,
So no, no. All right. I went to two different high schools. My first one was my mom moved me from out like after I graduated middle school. My mom was like, you ain't doing no more DPS. They can't teach nothing. So
mhm.
she moved me to my grandmother's. And my grandmother was she moved to Lansing. She moved to East Lansing, a small city called Okemos, Michigan, nearby East Lansing, Michigan, where she was about to go back to college. She was about to hit 50, if not 50 already,
Mm,
on her way to go back to college. So my mom was like, all right, she's going back to Michigan State. You gonna find the high school closest to there, and you gonna go there.
right.
So my first 2 years of high school, my freshman year, I went to this place called Okemos High School.
Hmm.
I ended up being in that band, the only black boy in the drum line, I
Oh,
think.
damn.
And I ended up playing tunnel bass. I ended up starting with tunnel
Okay.
bass, and then when I transferred from Okemos and moved back to Detroit, I went to Northwestern High School there, if that
Hmm.
matters. But I transferred from there to playing bass drum down there in
Yeah.
Detroit, which is a big difference. Now, when I was in Okemos, you had the little shoulder braces. You had the shoulder braces that you could easily just throw on your
Yeah.
shoulders and then just
Strapped
hook the
up.
drum
You
on
good.
it.
Yep.
I moved to Detroit. No, not these. You had the straps. You had the cotton straps. You had to put on your shoulder and
Oh,
had the like the little buckles underneath
oh, the
and
buckle.
like yeah and out and bass. It ain't no tunnel bases in black high schools. It's them big ass bases.
Hmm.
So I had to put a 60, 70 pound bass strapped to my chest at a 660 pound frame,
Yeah.
probably smaller than that. In my sophomore year, I thought I wouldn't survive.
Yo.
I thought I would survive, but
Yeah.
I mastered it, and then within my second year, my junior year, I learned how to master playing snare, and in my second year, I got stuck on snare and became the co-section leader.
Hey.
Now, but as good as I wasn't the most popular. So we ain't trying to listen to this nerd. You just got here. You just came from such and such. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we'll listen to Chelsea, but Chelsea's my best friend though. We got so close being in the drum line or whatever that okay, you can listen to him, but guess what? He listens to me too. So y'all going to listen to both of
Mm.
us.
Period.
So
That's it.
that dynamic is funny. Let's just think about
That's
that. We
funny.
basses in 2 years, snare in 2 years.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
So
And then don't forget the haters arriving. Once you
whew,
get a little bit of authority that they wanted, but they couldn't manage or have, which is
uh-huh.
crazy. You better
Not,
work
not,
for
not
it.
well. That's different. Now that's kind of almost different. Depends on, I guess, on the level because like I went to college with
Hmm.
this, so being a neo, being a crab, that
Hmm.
was an experience. But the fact that my class of crabs was so thick, I mean, it was 23 of us crossing
Yeah.
over, and
Yeah.
the upperclassmen, it was way less upperclassmen than it was crabs.
Yeah.
So we stuck together. We had some tumultuous
Yeah.
times, but we stuck together and made sure that we got through.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was like so when the Neos came in under us,
Hmm.
it wasn't we weren't trying to boss them around, but it was always like, all right, we know what we doing. Y'all got to listen to
Yeah.
us. So we tried but some of us didn't stay long because some of us didn't go to school.
Oh damn.
But it was just that feeling of like, oh man, we doing something. We run this campus
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, this our ground. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. And for me, it's so funny because I mean, as far as being the only black girl on the drum line, I was no, that was my junior year, right? There was two
Uh,
black girls. It was me and then another girl named Golden, and they would compare us a lot. They say, "Oh, you look alike," and I'm like, "Oh, y'all, this feels a little bit racist. Y'all talking about black girls looking alike? Chill out." Although we did look alike, but not like that, right?
right.
But either way, I'm letting y'all know, right? We different, but I still rock with her. She's a sweetheart, and she hold it down. She had the smallest bass drum, that little one, right? And
Uh-huh.
then
She was the one up front.
yep, up front, and then the tallest dude in the drum line had the
Had
biggest
to stay in the
bass
back.
drum. That big one that she talking about. Yeah, I held that bass drum
Hmm.
once. That shit was huge. I was like, what?
I
How the
wa-
fuck do you walk with
I
this?
marched in the I marched a parade with a big ass drum like that one time. Like
Crazy,
my first parade that I ever had to do in Detroit, I had to have a big ass bass drum like that on me. I was
crazy.
about to faint. I was like
Yeah.
this thing is too heavy. These straps is too tight on my neck and my shoulders. I'm about to fall out here in this broad street parade.
And they want you to
And,
still roast
and we
that.
almost through. We almost through, section leader. Let me get this.
Oh man, that's funny, y'all. They would really say you better make sure you roll step, and that's the only way you're not gonna drop your drum. I'm like, come
Right.
on, man. I'm fucking, But
But
and then there was one more black man
no,
in the black man.
no.
There was also another black guy in the drum line. He was the section leader though. Like he
Okay.
he ran shit. He was he still is extremely talented, right?
Yeah.
Drummer, percussionist, overall, like great musician, and you know, it's funny because he was kind of surprised I became section leader too.
Hmm.
When they announced my name, he was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, damn." I'm causing a lot of adversity out here right now on this stage because the percussion was on the stage, everybody else was on the ground. And just it is what it is. But yeah, y'all. When it comes to just music overall in high school, like it really does bring out the musician within you because it's more serious. There's competitions that happen
Yeah.
as well. Like I was a part of major competitions and we won those
All
competitions. Don't get it
right.
twisted, right?
All right. So,
But
all right. Sorry to
no
interrupt, but farthest
worries.
you went in marching band is college, right?
No, I stopped in high school and then as soon as I got to college, it was all finance.
Oh,
I
okay.
wanted to go to,
Okay.
yeah. I only
I meant to say high school, but college is where did you go to college?
I went to CSI on Staten Island, College of Staten Island,
Okay.
and
All right.
for 4 years straight. I wanted to go to a HBCU, but around that time, I had some family issues going on in high school, so I didn't have the proper guidance, and I wasn't even asking the proper questions to get that guidance,
All
right?
right.
So I only applied to like three colleges in high school, and I'm like, wait. I didn't know I could apply to more. Yeah, it was crazy. But you know,
Yeah,
when certain things happen, because
no
I
bite.
like my junior year of high school, I was rarely in school just for the fact that I was dealing with family issues. My mom and dad separated around that time. It was only her. My dad was nowhere to be found. Because he was in prison, right? He got locked up. But I'll keep it there, right? We'll keep it lighter.
It's all
But
good.
yeah,
Thank you.
I'm saying all this to say that we learn from a lot of the things or mistakes that we've made in the past. And around that time, I'd love to say that I wish I knew that I could apply to HBCUs and that I should have applied to HBCUs, right? Just for the fact that the passion they have in marching band down there is extremely different from high school.
There is
In
nothing
college,
like it. There's
so
nothing like
different.
it.
I wish I would have had that experience because I would have loved it. I would have been one of those drum majors on the ground with the fucking cymbals going like,
You
like going
know,
crazy, right?
oh,
With my bass drum or
it's
snare drum. Yeah.
one of the most.
Either way.
No, my goodness. That's one of my greatest experiences I could ever
Yeah.
have. Have
Yeah.
like spending those 2 years spending those 2 years I spent in Kentucky State University was one of the best years I've had.
I love
I
that.
try to make it a point. I try to make it a point on my YouTube channel to react to more fifth quarters. You know what fifth quarters are?
No, it was fifth quarters. Put me on.
All right. So fifth quarters are basically football games at HBCUs. We have football games, of course.
Yeah.
You got your little halftime shows, a little bit more
Yeah.
showmanship in
Yeah.
halftime shows for black colleges than it is in white colleges.
Yeah.
The difference between white colleges and black colleges and halftime shows, they halftime shows in white high schools, they got a whole little walking routine. They'll do everything, pinwheels, all this
Yeah.
shit. Black high schools, black colleges, they'll try to do a little pattern every now and then if they band is big enough, but they just hit a groove.
Oh yeah.
But a fifth quarter is practically when the game is over with, when the original game is over with. The football teams they leave, but the bands don't.
Mm.
The bands stay in the stands,
Hmm.
and they are about to have their fifth quarter, which means they about to go back and forth. All the songs they about to go back and forth with their best songs,
Mm.
and whoever's the last one standing wins.
Oh shit.
So say for example, you got Jackson State versus Southern University. So
Yeah.
after the football game, they stand on the field and they're gonna play. They're just gonna play with all the songs that they've practiced
Yeah.
in their room that they didn't use on the floor. They're playing all of those songs and really just gonna go to see, can you play better than us? Can you blast harder than us? Any of that, and the crowd stay for that because ain't no
Yeah.
telling. There's no telling what you're gonna hear out these medleys. You might hear a '70s song. You might hear today's song. I reacted to a video, a fifth quarter that involved Kendrick Lamar's Euphoria.
Mm.
It involved Sade's Is It a Crime? It
Oh shit.
involved Jodeci's Come and Talk to Me. I'm like, yes, yes. It
Yo.
uh, it
Okay.
involved Quavo. The musicianship that these directors come with, and
Hmm.
to put that on sheet music and put that into a band,
Yeah.
that is one of the most incredible things you could ever
Yeah.
hear. So when you hear you don't know what the song is unless you've been on the radio. You can catch the memory.
Hmm.
Like for one, it's this one song I forgot the name of the record. Uh, it's got Lil Wayne on it. I forgot the name of the dude though.
Mm.
But when I first heard it it was at the fifth quarter, and I was like, this song is crazy because the augmented notes that the brass is playing.
Hmm.
I'm I love when notes melodically clash together.
Oh yeah.
So this song has definitely had that type of musicianship. So when I
Hmm.
heard it, you just saw me have this. If you've watched battle rap, I had the jazz face the whole time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too much musicianship. Who is this?
Yeah. I call that the stank face. I'm like, like,
Right,
it's not a bad taste. It's like I just tasted something that's like, oh damn.
right.
Yeah.
So I
Yo.
love that. So I've been a part of some fifth quarters. And they will be out
Yeah.
like for maybe 2 hours on end.
Oh
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, but it's just that thrill of saying, "Look, we here, and we gonna be here till sundown."
yeah. Yeah.
Can you be here till sundown? How many songs y'all got? Come
Hmm.
on. And even
Battle all the
and
bands.
it's up. Oh, it's amazing. Check just go on YouTube and look up HBCU fifth quarter.
Yeah.
You'll be
Yeah.
amazed.
I'm gonna check that out. Wow. I love hearing about it, so I'm sure those videos are about to make my day. And
Yeah,
the fifth quarter going back and forth. See, in high school they didn't do that, although I mean we had our halftime at like homecoming, but it's
yeah,
not the same. Like I definitely did want to battle some bands. Like they not better than us. But I know in the bleachers, sometimes during throughout the quarters, different quarters, right? There will be like a
yeah.
little bit back and forth. We're like, okay, it's time for Stevie Wonder, let's go. And then we're like, we're on it.
You
Once
know
the director's
that
like, come on, Stevie Wonder, let's go. Two, three, four, and then the fucking bass drum starts playing, that type shit.
right.
I
That
miss those
and
days though.
that's basically what it is. But the only difference is on the game you got to stop because you got plays on the field. You can't
Yeah,
play you
yeah,
can't play while the team was
that's a
playing. That's going
fact.
to distract them.
It's
So
in between when they have their downs.
that's the biggest purpose of the fifth quarter because you're playing in between plays while they're in the huddle.
Yeah, yeah.
Ain't no
Wow.
huddling. That like while y'all playing, we huddling up.
Uh-huh. Yup.
Basically. So
Exactly.
I always love that sentiment, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we both got that's two things we got in
Yeah,
common.
let's
All right, so
go.
get into this next thing, which is another thing that really caught me onto high energy is one thing I really like to attract myself to. I'm all about high energy.
Oh yeah.
So the one thing that caught me onto you was that you're not like the average person. Your tarot reading and your sound bowling.
Yeah.
Now I've seen like I've been around tarot readers. I've like the last time I don't know when the last time I've had a tarot reader myself, but sound bowling that's not it's not new to me,
Hmm.
but it's definitely something that's not traditionally and on a high frequency level. It's not something that's being presented on an often basis.
Yeah.
Let's explain your reasoning for this sound elevation.
Okay. So for me, music has always been everything, right? I even got it tatted on my arm, right? This is a bow and it has like a stanza with music lyrics. It also, well, not lyrics, music notes, and it also has treble clef, it has the sharps, like everything that you would see on sheet music.
Yeah,
And growing up, I used music as therapy, and it really did calm me. It helped with my anxiety. It helped with any depression that I was feeling. And I started to really embrace it more when I heard different melodies and harmonies and different sheet music. And so from there, like, I mean, I could listen to, a rap song any day, right? And I could listen to hip hop. I could listen to, I mean, I don't prefer listening to trap, but I could listen to trap if it's on whatever they play it in clubs. But I always had to go back to that moment of when I truly did fall in love with music. And it's
hmm
when I heard those soothing melodies and harmonies and different pieces of sheet music, right? And I'm talking like some real intricate styled sheet music, symphonic music, right? Classical
yeah.
music, even just music that composers just write themselves, right? We actually had a song written for our high school, and it was by a composer. He was a friend of my band teacher, and he was like, "Yeah, this is the first song I wrote. I want to give this to you guys." It was called "Saturn Returns," and
Mm,
I love when things synchronize so much. Like even looking back at my life, I'm like, "Wow, synchronicities!" Right? And I was the lead role on that song because it required a mallet player to be the main one to
mm.
start the song
A
off,
mallet
and
player,
a
yeah,
mallet
that's definitely
player. And I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm stepping up to the plate because no one else is gonna do this, right? This was my sophomore year of high school before I was made section leader. But
Wait,
I
wait, wait,
say,
wait,
oh,
wait, wait. Hold on. So the mallet, ain't that the one where you got the chimes, like a little hammer? You got the chimes.
no, 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 that's the chimes. Those are the wind chimes, right? Those huge ones
Not
that
the
you
one,
step
not
and use
the
that.
big. I'm talking about the big one where you hit a mallet on there. It sounds
Yeah,
like a church bell.
yeah, it's not that. It's not
Okay,
that. The
all right.
mallets are the xylophone, the marimba, the vibraphone, right?
Okay, all right.
So
There you go. There
yeah,
you go.
yeah. So this was played on a vibraphone. Yeah, my favorite one. My favorite out of all of them, because there's also a
Yeah,
glockenspiel too. That's the little one. I have a glockenspiel in the
glockenspiel.
closet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, marching band glockenspiel, right? But
The small
you
boys.
know, yeah, them small boys. But I played it on a vibraphone. Now the vibraphone has the pedal that when
Mm-hmm.
you press that pedal,
It's the
it
same. It's the
opens
same
up.
the note.
Yeah, it opens up the pipes underneath the
Yeah.
vibraphone, and it does accentuate that note. It'll sing it out. Like you'll start to hear
It's
those
sustains it.
frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts singing to you, and it's like when they bought it and when I found out like, how to use it, I was obsessed because I was like, when you play different notes within certain, because each note does have its own hertz or frequency, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's also correlated to sound bowls, the crystal quartz sound bowls that they have their
Yeah.
own notes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't realize it before, like when I was starting out with the song, right? But there were certain notes where I had to play four notes at a time, so using four different mallets in two hands, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, but I was making a binaural beat. Now the
Mm.
binaural beat is the there's two different frequencies that you can play, but there's a third frequency that's played from those two frequencies. So when you play two different notes at the same time, like when you
Yeah.
hear it, it'll play those notes, but there will also be a frequency in between that's also played.
Yeah.
You'll hear that also in your headphones too if you're listening to two different sound waves, right? Or two different
Mm-hmm.
frequencies. Um, so I say all that to say, uh, in present day, when I started to get into sound bowls, it was more so listening to it on YouTube just to kind of like calm myself, but also help me go to sleep. And then I realized how much I just loved the sound and the aspect of playing sound bowls where they do have their own different notes that I ended up buying my own set, right? I bought
Right.
my own set of sound bowls and I started to experiment. First, I used it as a healing tool for myself, right? Because I had my overthinking times where I was really in my head. I was anxious. I couldn't make a proper decision because I couldn't truly trust my decisions because I was always all over the place. I wasn't centered in what direction I wanted to go in. I wasn't centered in what I truly wanted to do, and also centered in my heart of the things that do bring me happiness when it does come to career, when it does come to just my life purpose. So once I did get those sound bowls, I started to experiment with them in music, right? I'm like, all right, well, if I'm gonna make something that's vibe worthy, that's gonna, uplift everybody the way I feel uplifted from this, I want to create something where it's unique, it's honest, it's true, but it's also made with love. And it's also made with the proper science of music, right? So I ended up doing I ended up making my own beats on like Ableton Live, right? Just like a little backbeat, like maybe like a bass
Yeah.
drum snare, throw something in it, maybe I'll throw a little harmonies in it. But while I have that backtrack, right, I'll also have my sound bowls going. So kind of creating the frequencies, mixing that with the music that I've created, right? Because before I even create the beat, I have to figure out, okay, what notes are the main one? Like, what's the signature? What's the key signature
Yeah.
in this music, right?
Yeah.
How am I going to keep it so that it makes sense, right? Because music has to make sense when you combine it with anything, right? So incorporating the sound bowls into the music, I found that, it's a different uplifting feeling, right? Something I wasn't getting from the music that I was hearing nowadays, right? There's certain artists that do have some bomb music, right? They'll bring out the classics, they'll have more instrumentals, right? I love instrumental music. I feel like we have to go more towards instrumental, and sound bowls is considered instrumental.
Yeah.
And um, I also got inspired with sound bowls from Janae Aiko.
Hmm.
She had her sound bowl music, the frequency in her songs, and I would listen and I'd be like, oh, like I see what she means, right? She'll play like certain notes within it. And I'm like, okay, this is real soothing and it does heal. Sound bowls were actually used for centuries as an ancient tool for healing, right? Back in ancient Greece, back in ancient Egypt and ancient China, they would use sound bowls to heal certain diseases or spirits within the body. They consider diseases a spirit that was attached to a certain part of your physical vessel.
I
And
like how
I
you
mean,
said that,
everything,
by the way.
yeah. I had to learn it that way too, to really kind of dissect, because we could say spirits all we want and people are like, oh, ghost, and yeah, no, it goes deeper than that, because we
Right.
are spirit, right? We
That's right.
are energy. We have our own frequencies that we vibe at, and the natural conscious collective frequency was originally 432 hertz, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they
Yep.
changed it to 440 hertz, right? That's you know either way you see it, it has a different effect on the body, on the mind, on the spirit. But learning more about sound bowls helped me realize that when I do play it, when I am on stage with these, I always get the comments afterwards of, wow, this is different. Like, I've seen sound bowls, but I've never seen it this way. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I like that you said that. Now it kind of gives me feedback of how I can approach it, right? Because every musician has their own way of approaching their music, has their own way of approaching their art. And for me, I consider myself not only a musician, but a sound healer, because it's all about emotions, it's all about feelings too. And I'm very empathetic, and I'm very sensitive to other people's energy. So I can kind of feel out, and they call it Reiki too, when you can go over someone's body and kind of feel out their chakras, see what's blocked, see what's
Yeah.
not blocked, see where there's a bit of tension, whatever, right? And sound bowls are also great for aligning your chakras or clearing out any blockages, right? So just when it came to that high vibrational aspect of sound bowls, it just really it called to me. It was a no-brainer for me. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I made this purchase, but I also am glad I made this investment to learn it more, to understand it more, and see how I can utilize it to not only help myself, but help others in the most creative, fun way possible. Right. And
Right.
it can also be used to heal pets as well. I'm still learning on that, on how to truly properly utilize the frequencies to heal my dog, right? I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
there's anything wrong with her, but if there is anything that, was undetected or has yet to be detected, I hope that with the crystal quartz sound bowls, I can help her to heal that as well, target that specific, whatever, dis-ease or uh, medical issue that needs attention.
All right. So those white sound bowls, those are crystal core sound bowls that you have. Those white, like I see the
Uh,
video.
so I have the rainbow colored ones. I don't have the white ones, but those
Okay.
are considered.
I thought it was. I thought it was like a. I thought you put like a certain lighting under there, which made it look like that.
Oh no,
Okay.
no. I bought the rainbow one, and sometimes I'll throw like maybe some lights inside of the bowls,
Okay.
as
All
well
right.
as like adding water. I was experimenting on my own because they call it the study of vibrational medicine. And that's when you do use the sound bowls, because they're all different vibrations, frequencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vibrational medicine has been around for decades, centuries, right? And it can be
Yeah.
utilized as an alternative method of healing or medicine, right? I'm not a doctor, I'm not, but I could show you alternative ways to soothe your body, soothe your spirit. Um, and so I personally experiment with the water, right? Putting water inside the sound bowls and then also coating it with different essential oils, right? That
Mm.
target certain parts of your body. So I have like a head aid essential oil. I
Mm.
wrote down all the ingredients, but it has like cilantro. It has oh my god, sage. It has different herbals inside the oils that are mixed together. And practicing with that, it also helped with soothing literally my mind. And if you put it inside the proper sound bowl that is dedicated to the mind or the crown chakra or even the third eye or even the throat chakra, right? um it kind of enhances that, along with, I mean, the study of crystals, which are rocks, minerals,
Yeah.
right? um Even when you utilize those on top of the sound bowl and the essential oils, it really does create a clear, conscious mind. And it also helps you maintain a high level of vibration, right? High energy, right? Because
Yeah.
when you're in your head, you better hope it's not bad thoughts you're thinking that you're in your head, because that's just going to lower your frequency. That's going to lower the energy, right? If you get stuck on a bad thought, sometimes it'll take you down a road you don't want to go down. Sometimes you'll even recognize that you don't want to go down that road, but you're trying to figure out how to stop going down that road. And for me, I used to go down that road a lot. Bad thoughts, like nonstop negative thoughts, just thinking the worst, right? It's some old ass conditioning that was really, I call it systematic repression, right? There's just thinking everything is going to go wrong. I don't have a voice. I can't, be the best me I can because people are going to judge me or people are going to think I'm acting different, right? All that. Um, that led to negative thoughts. But when it came to the healing aspect of vibrations overall, that helps to clear those out. And honestly, I find negative thoughts as little lies that we can tell ourselves, that we can convince ourselves to believe, right? We can believe or convince ourselves to believe that we're not going to make it or something's not going to be successful. But, your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts shape your reality. So once you do target those negative thoughts, it leaves room for positivity. It leaves room for, um, I don't even want to say it's not that word. It's a unlimited potential and growth within self, right? Because everything comes from the mind. It's about our mind. It's about our brain, right? Without this, without whatever's in here, right? Without the beautiful, you know, organ that we have within our head, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
You can't do shit. So that's another reason why I really invested in sound healing. It helps change perspectives and helps you take accountability as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I've been trying to take a certain transformation within myself, just in like just certain small things, just to make sure I feel better about myself.
Yeah.
One of them's been, make sure I like once I wake up, 10 minutes of meditation, eyes
Hmm.
closed, no looking around, and then the other thing is I'll try to give myself a body care, like 10 at least 10 minutes of yoga a day in
Yeah.
the morning before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Uh, just to give myself those thoughts to where like and the reason I'm saying that is because meditation I don't have any music behind for the
Hmm.
most part. It's only one time I've done that, done like any type of meditation music.
Hmm.
But for yoga, it's just noticeable that most of the times when I do yoga, no matter who the instructor is on YouTube, it's always those high vibrational sounds that they have
Yeah.
behind it.
Hmm.
And I believe that like that goes into the mindset of knowing that not to reach this type of exercise, but
Yeah.
you want they to help tap into that mindset. You got to get into a higher frequency.
Hmm.
You know, it's tough. It's gonna be tough to do yoga to TGIF.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh, so, so I think about stuff like that sometimes. Like when I'm let's say I'm in my warrior pose,
Mm.
and I hear you just hear those soft wind, that soft C sharp in the
Hmm.
background, and it
Yeah.
helps soothe you. It helps gives you that thought. I was like, all right, take a
Hmm.
deep breath. You got this. This music ain't in no rush for you. It's waiting for you.
Yeah.
So I
Hmm.
feel like that does help just certain calmness about these type of sounds.
Yeah.
And then yeah, frequency. I've heard about that a lot. 432 hertz.
Hmm.
That's that's supposed to be our wave. That's supposed to be our frequency. How we like to get into a higher level.
Yeah.
And then there's the other thing. What you just said
Hmm.
recently about higher vibration is really what is missing in the music these days. A
Hmm.
lot of the music that's out right now is heavy bass,
Yeah.
but all the bass is down low. It's all the way at the bottom. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you can't think high when you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's I don't
Hmm.
want to say incidental. It's on purpose.
Yeah.
And then that will get us to our next or final subject.
Yes, sir.
Uh, uh, like it's just you can't pacify high vibration with lower frequency. And this dog, no more bite, man. But I I just like to have. I like to gravitate myself around high frequency, high vibrations,
Yeah.
and just to know that you have a knowledge and wanting to get into a higher vibration, and just to find out certain things. Like I didn't know that you could put in certain oils, or now I know water does help. Like that's almost that's a no brainer.
Yeah.
You think I think about when I think about when remember when we used to take empty glass bottles and blow the holes
Oh
like
yeah.
to get a
Yeah.
sound out of it.
Yeah.
Now some
Like
people
it's a
like
little flute.
now you get a jug, you get a big jug. Sometimes it'll have a hollow sound, but you put some water in it, it'll sound like
Hmm.
it'll have a higher note.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one thing I think about those type of things.
Yeah, even the when you take the glass cups and they kind of put the water in the
Yeah,
cup and then
yeah,
like you
yeah.
wet your
Like
finger and you go
the
around it.
glass wine glasses.
Yeah. What? I used to love doing that.
Oh
That
man,
that that was so fun. Hold on, let me turn my light on. Yeah, no, and when it comes to the music, like people could utilize so many different instruments, especially woodwind instruments, to create a better frequency. But I think with these major record labels and just how they want to shape society, and when I say they, I mean the ones who aren't actually aiding to society. Like you could be giving society music, but like
right.
what kind of music, what's the message behind your music, right?
Mhm.
And how are you expressing yourself in the music? And there's a lot of surface level music out here, and it doesn't penetrate deep enough, right?
The low surface level here.
Pause. But but like yeah, it doesn't. And even with like meditation music in ancient Africa, they use drums, and drums
Hmm.
are actually great for creating and really reinforcing power within, right? When you play a drum, it's powerful, right? It has its own shape and it has its own sound, right? Like even how we were talking about marching band, they have the different size bass drums because they have the different notes, right? But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, when you play that bass drum, it still has power. It's a beat. It's kind of like a heartbeat. That's the heartbeat of the band,
That's right.
right? Your drums are the heartbeat of music. And so when it comes to the lower frequency, they have great bass, they have great bass drums, but the frequency that they play it at, it doesn't uplift unless you
Right.
add the proper harmonies into it, unless you add the proper melodies into it at a certain frequency, at a certain, even just the key signature of the music, right? How do you
Mhm.
want to express the music? Because music itself is also like poetry, right? Music has notes, but notes are sung. Notes can be sang, right? It's still expression. It's how you express your feelings and emotions just with instruments, right? So it's like, yo, if they utilized more healing instruments and woodwinds and melodies and frequencies and solfeggios, right? If they utilize that more, and not even they, I just want to say certain musicians because everyone has their own style, right? And
Right.
taking advantage of something that is good, uh, if it's in the wrong hands, they can really manipulate, right? Music can be used as manipulation. I mean, I'm gonna be real. I love female MCs, but I just don't love the constant talking about, oh, my ass fat, and I could fuck your man if I wanted to, and same thing with
We're gonna get
male
into that partially.
MCs.
We're gonna get into that
Yeah,
partially, but go ahead. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm with
Just the negative message that is promoted, or the basic surface level. I just feel like it also has to deal with self-worth,
you.
that
Hmm.
plays a major role on it. But I can't do that because it's like now I'm looking at myself and kind of hearing their words, hearing their message.
Right.
And when I look
Right.
at myself, I don't want to hear the message that they're giving off of,
Right.
I don't
Right.
cook, I don't
It's,
clean, let me tell you how I got this ring. Like, first off, we have to cook and clean. That's survival. What the fuck we talking about, right? But
right.
it's okay. You could congrats on getting your ring. But like,
You know.
think about repeating it, right? When you repeat certain things, it's a mantra, right? And if you're gonna keep repeating something, that's where it starts to be. So it's like, yeah, man. that low vibrational shit. I don't know, man. I can't do it. Like I tried, but it's like nah, I can't. I used to love certain songs, and now it's like, all right, I'll hear it once in a while, but you know, back to the high vibes.
Imagine being a DJ and having to force yourself to play these type of songs. You know,
Yeah,
I uh,
yeah,
I do parties every once in a while, and it'll be a certain point of the party where my friends would be like, "Hey man, this party ain't turned up. Play Sexy Red, get them sexy. That'll turn them up all the time." And it's
yeah.
like, oh,
It
seriously.
sucks that we gotta put her on. How is she getting them hype? Like, but
Right.
it's
Well, but
people.
this, like, all right, right, but this is the reason why. I ain't gonna say the reason why, but
Mm,
I'll give an
mm,
explanation that I've heard from some friends of mine. One of them basically said that you had like the female MCs before this. Well, since I watch battle rap, you think about it like this. It's a lot of female. It was a lot of females that was being portrayed as gangsters. We
mm,
gangsters. We shoot and kill all that stuff. All right, that sounds cool and hard on the beat,
mm.
but men ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah.
Like the men, like we ain't trying to hear about how gangster you are because it's not too many of y'all that are outside holding that chopper and doing whatever the heck y'all saying y'all doing.
Hmm.
Now, on the other end, now if you talking about how juicy your coochie is and how fat your booty is, now that's something we can relate to. We'll play that all
Yeah.
day, and we'll
Yeah.
have the women turn up to it because that's what y'all like to do.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's the solution to that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
uh, that that wasn't even one of the subject I wanted to get on when it
Yeah, I
pertained to
know.
this.
But
But
DJs wanting to play that kind of, or having to play more
yeah,
so.
and this and with just with the recent events that mainly happened, the biggest one happening this past Tuesday, the world, whether Black America, White America, just America in a whole,
Hmm.
is in a frenzy, which it always is during election time. It's
Yeah.
always in a frenzy during election time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Every time.
and you got a lot of people that feel a certain way. And that are real dedicated about feeling that way, that they'll risk their friendships or followings
Mm.
because they feel this certain way.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say it like this: people are unfollowing folks because you voted for Trump or you voted for Kamala,
Yeah.
uh, or just like just the.
Yeah.
I thought about it like this. I told a friend of mine, that this lady, she voted for Kamala, I believe,
Hmm.
and I was I was trying to say to her that I would rather I said I would rather have a face of the truth than have a
Hmm.
face of the
Yeah.
lie in the front
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
And she kind of asked me what did I mean by that. I would rather us have a president that everybody don't approve of, and in the
Hmm.
case of and in the consensus of this country's messed up, we got to do something about
Hmm.
it, than to have a face on than have a lie being on there saying, "Oh, we're not racist, we're not sexist." I'd rather us have a I'd rather us be in that sense. I'd rather us be in that state of mind
Hmm.
than be like, see, 2008. I was there for 2008. I know you was. I'm probably sure you was there
Yes,
too.
I was.
I voted in 2008.
Mm.
So I'm thinking like I thought back then, and this before I had the truth hit on me. Even before then, I was like, I just knew it was gonna be a big deal.
Yeah.
And when it happened, it was like a great celebration, all of this stuff. And
Yeah.
somebody asked and I go through all this stuff, like everything that goes within the economy, the plans that are being taken action, whether it was healthcare, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Fast forward to it, it didn't affect me to the biggest point where it's like, okay, what did he do for me? But it was also like, all this stuff that's supposed to happen for black folks or whatever, it didn't happen. Okay, this seems like the same old status quo.
Mm.
So you fast forward into this election, and I think about Harris and Trump. Trump winning, they acting like it's going to be the end of the world. But guess
Yeah.
what? They thought the same thing in 2020.
Yes, they
And
did.
guess what? It wasn't the end of the world. What happened was, we was able to sit ourselves down forcefully and think about some things. And that's what this country needs, is another sit down. This
Mm.
country needs another sit down with itself to really look at itself and be like, man, are we really who we say we are?
Mm.
And this yeah, I think this is going to be that. I don't think it's going to be that moment because I think America is slow. I honestly think that America is slow. You
Oh
ever seen the movie
man,
Idiocracy?
I haven't.
You should. You should. It's like Terry Crews ended up was a wrestler looking like a black macho man, and he was the
Oh
president.
damn, very
That
cruise.
part. But I would want to hope that this is the breaking point. Not even the breaking point, but the thought process is like, man, I'm not as good as I think I am.
Mm.
So, but like that's why I mean,
Hmm.
like this face of a lie. Like, come on, this
Yeah,
dude got
yeah,
shot. This dude got assassinated. This dude had attempt assassination 2 times, and you get up saying "God bless America." That's a
yeah,
great act, my man.
yeah.
But I would
He
rather.
even
But I
said
would
he
rather.
has a purpose too. That's why he didn't get hit the way he was supposed to, or the way people wanted him to. Whoever
Yeah,
was trying
that's the
to
purpose.
take him out. Yeah, he said that. He said, "See, that's how I know I have a purpose, because you didn't
Well,
take me out."
everybody has a purpose. That's the one thing. Everybody has a purpose. That now
Uh-huh.
you knowing your purpose is another thing.
Hmm.
But like I said, I would rather be caught up in this fact that like this is the truth. America
Yeah.
is sexist, it's racist, it's misogynist, it's of course capitalistic, but we're working on it. I would rather
Hmm.
us be in that sentiment than saying, "Oh, we're not racist, we're not sexist, we got a black woman president,"
Yeah.
and still be pacified with BS.
Hmm.
I would rather
Hmm.
I would rather be that way because to me, I don't let like even when Barack became president,
Yeah.
when Barack became president, I all of a sudden became a part of a black activist group
Yeah.
that was giving up videos, Zeitgeist and the Obama deception and stuff like that.
Wow.
So when he became the president,
Hmm.
that's when my skull cracked open. That's when my third eye officially opened. So I
Yeah.
didn't let his presidency affect my world and what's going on around it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Neither did neither did I let Trump or
Hmm.
Biden or
Hmm.
anybody else after that.
Yeah.
Even back in 2000,
Yeah.
even when George W. won,
Hmm.
I knew I knew like this is 2000. I'm 8 years old. Even back then when that happened, I felt like something's not cool over here
Yeah.
because Gore won, but then the votes got counted
Yes.
because something happened in Florida. Jeb Bush, his
Hmm.
brother, they was like, nope, that's not happening. So when that happened, my intuition just knew. I was like, something ain't right in America.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I would rap like, and this whole time we've been pacified. We've been pacified. Whether Democrats pacifies and tells us everything's going to be okay when it's not, or
Yes.
whether Republicans just say we're going to help you out for a second, but you better hurry up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my thing, like that's my whole sentiment about that.
Uh-huh.
And I'll let you, and I'll ask you yourself because I got into a whole tirade on it.
Yeah.
My whole thing was just that how everything was being presented itself. It was a whole shit show.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what would you have rather had? What would you have rather had? When it came to this election, how would you have liked the outlook to be? You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't mind either way. If Kamala won, I'd have felt like, okay, cool, we're making history, but what is going to be stalled?
Yeah.
Because either way, it's two things that's going to be stalled in this process.
Hmm. Yeah. So
So,
honestly, for me, I had to really step back from all of these social norms and the titles and just society overall and their perspective. I think a major thing for me was seeing a lot of propaganda, especially on social media, and seeing people really get involved with their feelings towards the presidency. Um, that really had to, it put things into perspective of, okay, we can't, at least for me, we can't make decisions when we're not stable emotionally, when we're not
mhm,
sound and whole with who we are. And the thing is, we could say, oh, we don't like this person because of what he said, or we don't like her because she's a phone, whatever, right? I like to break it down to the facts. What are the actual policies that they're trying to enforce, right?
mhm,
Where do we play the role? And have we even utilized our rights, right? Because at the end of the day, like you said, we were pacified, but who allowed us to be pacified? It was
bingo.
self. We didn't do, like, my thing is, we could talk about politics, or we could say, oh, I don't want to talk about politics. You don't want to talk about politics because you understand that you have rights, but you haven't gone over what those rights are, and you haven't utilized them. And it starts from state, because there's state and then there's
Mm-hmm.
federal, right? We have
Bingo.
our state laws, we have our senates, we have our mayors, right? Have you voted for them? Have you made
Bingo.
a big deal about who's voted for your mayor? And did you stop talking to your mama because she voted for a different mayor than the mayor that you wanted, right? Like, I get it. I get people, want to separate and say, oh, you voted for Trump. I'm not talking to you, whatever, right? At the end of the day, you got to deal with it. He's the president, right? We don't have any presidential test to stop them from being president. It's literally a whole voting system, right? And if you don't like the choice that was made, now, and I can agree with you, really seeing that, we need a sit down, right? For me, I think it's like a partial sit down, not even fully, right? And an action. There needs to be a plan in place, because we could talk about, oh, this is 4 years, the world's going to be over. No, no. If you're thinking that way, that's because you haven't realized that you hold the power, you hold the key. You
Right.
haven't understood your rights, and that's okay. We should be teaching each other our laws. We should be teaching each other our rights, and then learning how to utilize those rights, so that if there is something that comes against us, whether it be the law, right? Because there's a lot of things that stir up. We could say we want a black president, right? And then that plays on the stigma of race. That plays on the stigma of Black Lives Matter, right? That plays on a whole other social breakdown, which it is a problem. Black lives do matter, but it's also the fact of, we can't use that and just say, oh yeah, we're being abused. No, now we have to use that, knowing that our lives do matter, and we have to utilize our rights properly, so that they can see, yeah, we mean when we say our lives matter. That's why we're in law. That's why we're helping our people, right? What the Black Panther Party has done, which was learn the laws, learn their rights, and see how they could utilize that to protect their community, protect their people, right? Um, I voted for Kamala. I'm not afraid to say who I voted for. I voted for Kamala, just for the fact that, I mean, and this was like, I was on the fence, right? I was like, with Kamala, she presents optimism, but it's false optimism, so to
There
speak,
we
right?
go.
She's like, yeah, we're a great country. We're gonna fight that, like, right? Yeah, we can be great when we come together. But
Right.
as of now, there's a lot of people that are very separated and divided, and there's going to still be people who want to separate and divide. Like, this whole, every time there's a political election, everyone's on two different fences. And I personally
Mm-hmm.
just don't like the two political parties. It's just, no. At this point, there has to be a whole new thing, because both of the political parties going back and forth, Democrat to Republican, who's making these laws, and then the Republicans make a certain law, Democrats go back and ratify that law and say, okay, yeah, no, we don't like that law, we're taking out that policy. But then the next president, who's Republican, fucking reinstates that law. So it's kind of like
Right.
going back and forth on the fence
Right.
of, okay,
That.
we're changing, but
Yeah.
then we're not. But then we're changing, but
Hold
then we're
on.
not.
Right. House of Representatives full of Democrats, but a Republican president, and then
Yeah,
switch up all the way around. That's
yeah.
like, it's
It,
yeah.
it doesn't.
It's like you think.
Bro, it's the whole system. I want to say, yeah, the whole system's rigged, but the whole system just doesn't make sense at the point that we're in right now. This point in time right now, the system just doesn't work, right? They need a whole new way of making it work for the families in America, for the actual citizens who live here, right? And
Yeah.
I could agree with I can agree with closing borders, just for the fact that we have to really do a deeper dive into the American uh, economy, right? We have to
Yeah.
figure out how we're going to supply our own products and services, right? Instead of always getting things from outside the country. We have so many capable people who are crafty, who can create clothing, right? That can even be a class taught, right? We could do our own agriculture. We could create our own vegetables and fruit. We could do that. It's not like that's not a thing. And they say Americans are lazy. I could agree with that to an extent. Some of us aren't, but then there are people who are lazy. And when I say lazy, I mean you don't want to do the work. You don't want to do the personal development, right? You don't want to work on growing your knowledge. You want to stay stuck on a certain level of knowledge where it's like, no, I know enough. I don't need to know more, instead
Oh
of doing your
snap!
deep dive.
They
But
gave me. Oh man, I didn't think it was gonna be on for. I didn't think it was on this long for an hour. They gave me 15 seconds counting down.
ooh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll say
So you
this.
want to come back on
Yeah.
or you want to? All right,
Let's
yeah,
do
we about
that
to
for a
do
little
this.
bit. Let's finish this out.
All right, yeah, we about to be right back, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Stay cool.
Yeah.